The Nick and Jimmy Show. On today's episode, we have Dr.Bak Nguyen. Dr. Bak, thank you for being on the show today.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And a lot of our viewers want to know who you are, what do you do, what's your story, and how you got started.
Talk to us.
Wow, that's gonna. Do you have a lot of time?
Absolutely.
5 minutes.
Mostly, I'm a dentist. I've been recognized to be a cosmetic surgeon here, and I've done that basically for my parents. So my story is I hate what I do, and I have to find a way to cope with it. Since I've been doing this for 15 years, before leaving the profession, because I promised to myself that I'd be spending 10 years in this, and then that was it. I decided to repackage everything that I realized to do to cope with my own profession, because the funny thing is I hate my profession, and I'm good doing it, and patient loves me. So what I did is we tried to repackage everything that I've learned, try to cope with my own pain, and then to try to share that with other dentists. Since we know that dental field is one of the professions with the highest rate of depression in society, this brings a new light to the whole profession. It's the first time that a company and a dentist is taking care of what dentist feels. And mainly this is why I'm doing. That's also why I'm having a lot of attention, because I wrote a book saying that changing the world from a dental chair. And really, if I succeed changing the way that dentists see themselves and see the work, all of us will benefit from it, because we think that if you keep your dentist happy, he or she will be able to keep their patient happy. So we're trying to bring humanity into this, at the center of it, instead of just having a lot of protocols, a lot of equipments, and a lot of fees.
So you hated being a dentist?
I'm an immigrant. So what's the story of the immigrant? You have to go at school, you have to be good. And when you're good, it's not good. It's just like, yeah, look at the other guy, he's better than you. So that's the story of with our parents. And after that, they're all doctors, so you have to be a doctor. I'm not a docile person, but when people invest everything on you, it's hard to say no.
So it's not your passion?
Not at all. Fun thing is, I succeed being a dentist. That's the part I didn't get.
So basically, you're successful in the dentistry industry, but you hate it, and now you're doing something else.
Just to be clear, I'm a winner. I love to succeed. And usually people that are competitive are not in that kind of field, because this is the average, this is the mean, you have rules to follow. My parents put me there, and I said yes to that, so I'll take the blame. But after that, what saved me from the whole thing is, if I have one person, let's say that Jimmy's come to me and say that, Doc, what can you do? My goal is to make him happy as he's leaving. And people hate to go to the dentist, so it's not that hard to make somebody, you just have to open up a little bit, you just have to deliver what you promise, that's it. Now, add on top of that I'm a movie maker. So to project, it's easy for me. So I'm in cosmetics, so people are insecure. They come in and say that, okay, I trust you, I give you my faith, I give you my money. So what's next? They need insurance. They need to know that you know where you're going. They need to feel it. So as a movie maker, I say, okay, now I see the end goal. All I have to do is to reverse engineer from there and make sure that I can hold your hand and get you to that stage. What I've learned in dentistry is confidence, it's mostly 50% of the job. If people trust you, it's easier. If you trust yourself, it's even easier, and then you have to deliver. So that's also the skills part. At school, we are very good about the skills part, because people make sure that we can deliver. But if you cannot communicate that, that's useless.
Makes sense, absolutely. And talk to us about your clinic, because last conversation that we had, you're reinventing the industry.
I like to call it that way because we are giving to dentists a new option. So you know that a dentist is a surgeon. On top of that, he's also a businessman or woman without he has any knowledge in it. He didn't sign up for that. But the thing is, you have to run your clinic or you're an employee. So what we're trying to do here is to repackage everything so a dentist will have one thing to do, is to work on his patients and to deliver the care he needs to deliver. But also dentists are very proud people. And we've been trained to have Now, if you're succeeding, you have to own your own practice. You have to be your own boss. Not knowing what being a boss means. And I learned that on the field. So what we're trying to do is let's give them everything. They will still own their clientele, they own their micro business, but they don't need to run the whole house. They don't need to take too much on their shoulder. So we have created a co-working space where dentists can now share resource, keeping what's the most valuable thing on the whole thing is the clientele. Mm-hmm. And for the rest of it, you don't pay any extra overhead when you don't need it. Pay what you need. So just to put that simply, you know that I have passions doing movies. And when I graduate, I was in between, do I go to Hollywood to become a producer or I stay here and become a dentist? There was no middle ground. What we're trying to do here is, being a dentist, I can tell you that you can work about 3 days a week, 8 hours a day, and you have more than enough to have a great life. You can do more, but mainly you're doing more just to pay the bills. Mm. So you know that the millennials coming out, they don't want to work as hard. They want everything right away. And why not? They might be smarter than we are. So what I did is I packaged something that if I was today out of school and I was to have a second career on top, just aside of it, I would have taken this in a heartbeat. So yes, I can be a dentist, I can be good at it, but I don't need the crap of being a good businessman. I still have the pride. That's my business.
So basically, you're reinventing the dentist industry, kind of making them feel like they're business owners, but at the same time they get to focus on what they know best, which is being with their clients and doing the surgeries.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that I'm reinventing the business. I'm giving a new option, a new alternative. Mm. And if this prove right, I will have reinvent the wheel. Awesome. On that field.
And how many dentists you have under your umbrella?
Right now they're about 7 or 8. I'm not sure. I don't know the name of other people working with me.
3 offices, right? 2?
It's one at the stage, but we have 2 floors of one of prime real estate in Montreal. The second one is coming. I cannot say that on camera yet because I don't have the confirmation, but we are 99.9% of it. And we have about 80 of those aligned within the next 10 years. So wow. It's one at a time, but it's a concept. It's not opening a clinic, it's not a shop, it's a concept. Spent about 1.5 years trying to find myself. So I was between here and Hollywood, seeing what I can do. And I was working like a day or 2 in a week, just make sure that I keep my license. Because you know that as a dentist, you don't work, you lose your license.
Oh, really? Okay.
And no way in hell I will pass that license. That cost me a lot of pain and emotions. So I was working a little bit, but you can maybe say that I was working maybe 40 hours or 80 hours for the whole year.
For the whole year?
I wasn't there. I was in Hollywood. I was trying to make, now that my parents are happy, and I'm gonna say that on camera. First time I said this on camera. I graduate with a movie and my doctorate. You know what I did? Exactly in the movie. Dad, you want it? This is yours. I gave him my original license, not license, but the diploma, and he lost it. He managed to lose it. Now all I'm having is photocopies of those. And I'm making a lot of funny things with that piece of paper. So I'm legit though. I'm legit, but he lost my diploma. And
but you can go get it, no? You can go get it.
Yeah, but they always say duplicate. Oh. You will never have the same piece of paper again.
Oh wow!
So in my family, my parents who succeeded in that, they all doctors. I was the only one giving him the license. They were that take a copy if you want, but that's my ticket.
Oh man. Damn.
But that doesn't change a thing today. It's a piece of paper. You have a number, you have license. But for those who listen to us today and say, how can you succeed doing something even if you don't like it? Know who you're serving and serve them until the end. Mm. People will love you for that. They can tell you that you're arrogant. They can tell you that you're too confident, you're overconfident, whatever. But if you're serving them, they love you for that. Mm. Because they know that you're going to be there no matter what.
And tell us about Hollywood, man. You went to the US. Explain this. Like, what made you want to go to Hollywood?
Actually, it's a lot of circumstances who brought me there. So after a year in dentistry, I was bored, but deadly bored. So what happened is I started a movie project, and that was back in 1997. So it's like the big cameras, so don't have iPhones. It was hard.
What kind of movie?
It's an independent movie. So what happened is I got bored. I wrote a script, find a crew, and at the top of the crew were 120 people. And we started filming. And I wasn't the director. I had somebody who was studying in medicine who was, I have experience, let's do that. Okay, take care of it. So I have a big mouth. It's easy for me to gather people around me. So yeah, everybody was on board because of me. But I wasn't responsible. I'm having fun on stage. What happened after 2 years is he said, okay, Bak, listen, I give you what I can give you, but that's it for me. I have to concentrate on my study because it's not doing very well. And I give you back the keys. It's like, what do I do now? I never touched a camera in my life at that point. I knew a lot of what's going on, so okay, fine. I cannot force you. I can tell you that I was pissed, but what you want to do? But now it was for me to break the news to all the team. Those hundreds of people who believe in me, who give me time, sometimes money, I'm the one saying, okay, I'm sorry guys, but that won't happen. And that was a lot to take. So my pride couldn't take that one.
Of course.
I went to the core team and told them, okay, the director is gone. I'm still here. If you trust me, I'll try to deliver something, but I have no experience directing. You just saw me on set. And everybody was kind of, yeah, you know, but yeah, let's give it a try. And I can be very cool if I'm not under pressure, but as soon as I'm under pressure, I'm Marshall. No, it's like, die.
You're strict.
I'm not strict. I need to get out of this as soon as possible. You know, it wasn't my job. And that was on top of what I was doing. And while we were doing this, I was still in dental. And people who study dental will tell you that usually you don't have one single extra minute. So I was doing this on top of my clinics, of my exams, and my studies. Not doing whatever. So we took a summer to review all the footage that we had for 2 years. So I never asked for anything up to that point. Because no, yeah, do your stuff, I don't care. 10% was good enough to keep. The rest was crap. Now I'm a crew. We have no money left. We have a depleted crew and was 10%. So I took that 10%, I managed to edit it into a masterpiece. And on top of that, I have to learn editing at that point. And I showed it to my sponsors. And that was the Students Association. They were nuts. They loved what they saw. Mm-hmm. And they never asked me anything. So how much money do you need? Cool, man. So that's how it restarted. We rebooted. After 2 years, I retake control of everything. It took us another year of shooting. But we have to change the script. Because now we have more restaurant schedule. And the budget was way slimmer. So I have to make sure that the script fit with what we had. And we deliver, the whole shooting was over after about a year on top of the schedule. So at that stage, I was around my last year of school and I still have to edit. Still have a big mouth, so that didn't stop there. So I went to the authority and showed them what we did and the students were very happy. That's the first time. You know that at University of Montreal at that time, they have a faculty teaching movie making. And never anybody up to that point arrived with an independent project. That was the first ever. And I wasn't even in that faculty. Mm-hmm. I was in med school. Dental school, sorry. So I was kind of, yeah, now I'm doing something. I can deliver. That was by September. And by January, we had a chance to project that movie in front of an international audience of dental students, and I have my dean on board. Every day was people were proud of it.
But this is in Montreal or still in Hollywood now?
No, here in Montreal.
Okay, this is in Montreal.
By Halloween that year, I got robbed. My studio got robbed. They took everything, but everything. The only thing was left was the original tapes.
You say your studio?
Yeah.
Sure. And where was your studio?
I was in somewhere in Villeray, near my parents' house. I took one of their apartments. And that crushed me. That crushed me completely because it was impossible for me to deliver something by January. I was tested time and time over, but can I have a break there? And in dental school, you have to understand that by the 4th year, you have 2 exams every week. That's your normal life, on top of your clinical hours and the studies. So now I have 3 months left to record myself, deal with the insurance company, do my exams, and try to save the movie. I know how I did it, but I made it work. We were 3, we gave it everything we had, and sleep was not on the table. And we managed to deliver something, and just to tell you how hard it was, it's at the date of the release, people were watching the first half of the movie when I was in studio getting out the second half. I arrived on time just for the applause. That was how hard it was. But that brought us to the next level. because we had a lot of attention. People say, man, this is, we can feel the pain here. We see the hustle. And we have the support of Radio Canada. We have the support of a producer of Hollywood. But I was so into it, I didn't see all of that. So I managed to burn them all, to burn everything, because I didn't listen. I was just obsessed by finishing my job to perfection. And then trying to just go from one exam to the next, to the next, to the next, to finish my clinic. So I graduated that year with a lot of difficulty and pains because I wasn't there. I was burned. Honestly, I was burned. I didn't give up, but I had a lot of recommendation. I received an award, not for the movie, but for the process I've been through. And that brought me to the door of the AFI, American Film Institute.
Which one?
The what, sorry?
American Film Institute.
Okay.
In Hollywood. And when you're a scholar, you're always looking at, I want another diploma. So they were asking for a lot of money. If I can make the cut, but nothing was secure.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Did you ever think of, how about Bollywood instead of only Hollywood? Because Bollywood's quite big too, no?
I didn't know that. It was back in 2001. So, what happened there, it's, the main decision I had to take, it's either I go over there, get in debt for another $250,000.
$250,000?
That's for 2 years. But that wasn't the...
What, in debt, you're saying?
Yeah, because you have to pay for your fees. You cannot work. But the most difficult part to swallow was the fact that my license will be void. Because if I leave the country for 1 to 3 years and I'm not practicing, that's it. I have to repass all my licenses.
Oh my God.
Are you crazy?
Well, no.
That took everything I had last time. So I chickened out. I didn't have much support. So I went back here and I said, okay, let's try to do both. Because I was still pretty big in Montreal.
Yeah, it's the film industry is quite big here in Montreal.
Not back then, though. Not back then.
Now it's picking up, right? 4 or 5 years ago.
So what happened is I got back here and I created Amdex, the first one.
Ambex?
And that's
Amdex, my
clinic.
company.
Okay, yeah.
Funny fact is, I got in debt even more to open the first Amdex. And after the first year, my soul was over there, my heart was over there in Hollywood, and I still didn't regret. My money and my body was here. After a year, I was at I was about $1,000 from bankruptcy. People didn't understand what we're trying to do. And I wasn't there, so yeah, I was an average dentist trying to do funny stuff. And I wasn't in Hollywood anymore. So that took a lot from me. And that's how I learned to appreciate what we have. So I signed a contract with myself for 10 years because I said that if I screw up here, my career as a movie maker is done already. My career as a dentist is also done. And as a financier, people will never forgive me that bankruptcy. So I suck it up. Look in the mirror and say, okay, I have to do the best out of a worst situation. And I signed a contract with myself for 10 years. And say, okay, for now, forget the fact that you have regrets, forget Hollywood, you're a dentist, and do your best. And that would happen to include the first year I spent in hell. Never signed that contract for real, but it was a real contract with myself. And things changed overnight. We went from almost nothing to this. And you can see that today we're making history. I'm telling this story today to give hope to anyone that even if you don't like what you do and you find a light through it, it's possible to succeed. I'm succeeding against all the odds, especially the one that I saw by myself. And to bring this to the next level, what we is packaging to dentists today is what I've learned. Because most dentists are not, some will love what they do, but they're not passionate about dentistry. It's like they're treating teeth. How can you be passionate about dentistry? Make it about humans. Make it about you. Free your time. Try to have something on the side so you can say, okay, I love what I'm doing, and then this is what I do to be professional. This is how I make my living. And maybe that's the story of MDEX. It was based on my own personal history. And when you were saying that dentists get depressed over time or get suicidal idea, I had all of that within my first 2 years of practicing. So I was too young to be depressed, or at least to say it out loud. I was way too young to say, no, that's it. So I have to cope with it. Today, what MDEX is everything that I've learned. And we also have improved a lot on it. And we repackage to all dentists, but especially the millennials, to make sure that they won't have to make that kind of choice.
Let's talk about your books. So you want to break a world record, you said? Right now you have 12 books?
Yeah.
12
In how
books.
long? In how long?
14 months.
In 14 months. And you want to do 20 in 2 years? Is that it? What's
Now
your
you
goal?
go. In my mind, I try to reach 12 on 12. I missed that mark. I arrive at 9 and 12s. 9 books in 12 months. So I said, okay, let's try to have a round number because it's going to take time anyway for the Guinness World Record to recognize it. So let's go to 15 on 15. So 15 books, it's okay. You know, I still have 6 more books to write. I still have some time. But that was about 2 books a month. And I don't know if you ever written before, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you're writing. It's about you have something new to say.
Of course.
It's about the content.
So, and what is the content?
Oh, I'm going through from finance, dentistry. I'm talking about what I know. Finance, dentistry, communication. I didn't know that much, but I spent a lot of time talking about the quest of identity. And those are philosophical books. My last book is about reboot. It's the Midlife Crisis. How people can get through with it ahead and why people have to pass through a midlife crisis. I also talk a lot with people. So, you know, as you exchange with people, you learn from yourself, you learn from other people, and you start like, oh yeah, that's a good question. So the idea is it started as I need to get ready. You know, you met with Thierry, and Thierry Lindor proposed me, oh, let's put you on stage. Let's have you talk about your story on stage. Okay, bro, that's fine. I'm a cool guy. I say yes to mostly everything, and I never back out of it. It took him a month before he told me that it will be in Toronto, and maybe I'll be taking the stage after Michelle Obama.
Michelle, wow.
Yeah, that's, seriously. I'm not...
Pressure's on.
It's not just pressure, man. You cannot win that one. After Michelle Obama, people just stand up and leave.
Of course.
So I can speak in front of people. You know, English is not my primary language, so I have to think a little twice. Now it's better, but by that time it's like, okay. So what's looking at me and say, okay, I see you scared, but honestly, bro, just take a beer, you're gonna nail it. That was his words.
Just take a beer, you said?
And you're gonna nail it. That was his words. So I wasn't convinced, but he knew that I wasn't backing out. So he said, okay, just go online, just watch some TED Talks and prepare a few of your own past. And he told to me that they don't care about what you be doing. Just tell them what you did in past to get to that point. Mm-hmm. And you're talking to entrepreneurs. That should be easy. Okay, fine. You be laughing about me, but up to that point, I never really watched a TED Talk. I don't have time. Well, I watched it and okay. But I find a speech from Goldcast from the Admiral William McRaven about making your bed.
Yo, yes, I saw that one.
Oh man, I went nuts about that one. So I was listening to again and again and again, and I started to understand his structure.
I didn't make my bed today.
So what happened is I need to get ready. I was so fearful of Michelle Obama, and that was the first time in my life I took something very seriously. I started writing. Then I met with one of my friends who was also a movie producer and an award movie producer here in Quebec. He said, yeah, you know, let me give, you can talk about your success, but just as you mentioned, Nick, it's when you talk about your failures that the story is becoming interesting.
Yes.
He changed the whole game. When you try to look good, you look that pretty much good for yourself, but for people say, yeah, what are you trying to sell to me? When you start to expose your vulnerability, people love it. But I had so many failures. It went just out. I'm writing from my phone. Can you believe it? So I have time just in terms of testing someone, writing for it. Within 2 weeks, I lined up 21 chapters. I put an intro and a conclusion to it. And that was my first book and kind of bio in the same time. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't chapters. Mainly, all of them were just subject I can treat on stage as a TED Talk. So I have self-contained chapters about different episodes of my life. Went back to Thierry and said, so which one you want? He didn't believe me and said, shit, holy cow, you did, man. You wrote a book. Then what happened is we knew that by that time Michelle Obama won't be making it for Toronto because of the Thanksgiving date.
Okay, so she didn't make it.
Nope. But I was prepared. Now I can go on stage and I wrote the whole thing in English because I was picturing myself on stage talking. So I was writing as I speak.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, question. What's your goal with all these books? Like, what's the game plan? Like,
good question.
Funny fact is, I never.
Is it branding? What is it?
My people now is branding it, and say, yeah, well, you asked me, and I'll be honest with you. I started writing because I was fearful of Michelle Obama. I need to prepare for stage. Never thought that I would be giving something, but when you do something, you give it your best, and that's it. Then you notice that, well, James, I'm pretty good doing it. And people are looking at, oh, wow. And usually it takes about 2 hours a day to write. So I would write about 1-2 chapter top a day. Then I go through my day. So I wake up in the morning a little earlier, from around 5. After I finished the two first books, one in French, one in English, I took about a month off, but I was bored because I was used to the fact that I can produce. So every time I wake up at 5 now, just because I had that habit now, it's taking me time to just try to sleep and then to wake up around 6:30 to be at work. You know, so every time I wake up, crap, let's take a shower and just do something productive with it. So I went on from that to...
Do you ever go to the clinic?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever go to the clinic?
Yeah, because I'm running from 5 in the morning to 7. Then I get prepared for my day.
Okay. Which is the clinic?
Yeah, just when I'm in clinic, it's from 9 to 7.
Oh, wow.
Do you manage or you have clients yourself?
I have clients. Every time I'm there, I'm seeing about 40 patients a day.
40 a day?
40 a day?
I'm telling you, this is on top of my life as...
Oh my God, man.
I'm there two days a week. The rest of the time I'm a CEO, but the CEO
You
is...
say 2 days a week you're there?
As a dentist, yes.
As a dentist.
And you're doing 40 patients every time you're there?
Yeah, but it's not the same kind of treatment. You know, when you're a cosmetic surgeon, you know your patients for a long time, and they all have my personal email, so I know everything. So they write to me, I know what's wrong, what's not wrong, so as soon as I have them in front of me, I know exactly what to do.
But you don't do the cleanups, that's your nurse there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're the expert, right?
I do my job.
Exactly. Yeah.
About your books, like, is it very costly to write a book? Because I mean, there's
Very
some
good
people
question.
that want to write a book, but then they have the fears. Oh, it's probably going to cost a lot of money, a lot of time. This, that. I mean,
Somebody
you're an
that was
expert.
here yesterday wrote his own
I'm
book
not sure
too.
what you meant by costly, but yes, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take your time. So if you look at your hour, if I look at what I bill an hour, that is very costly. But I'm doing it because I like it. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm also doing it because I'm good doing it. I never sold a book in my life up to that point. So now I have a team of experts trying to figure out ways to sell the books, and you have to how to present yourself. That's not my job. My job is I'm having fun producing. I keep producing for as long as I have something to say. I'll keep. So to answer your question is, I think if you believe in what you do, first of all, you start doing things that people will start to rally around you, and with that, you have the resource to go to the next stage. And I had that problem too. I was writing, and then I need a cover. I went online, find somebody who can take a cover. It took him a week. $500, and he gave me shit.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's not working.
You get what you pay for, right?
More or less, because how hard is it to make a cover? So
Oh,
then
for a cover.
Yeah, the
Okay.
cover of the book.
500 for a cover.
I didn't care. I have money, so that's my chance. But also, I didn't work for that money, so I still have to make sure that it is well spent. So I went online to try to show the guy what I have in mind to do a cover. But you know, with all those apps on your phone, this, I'm writing with it, I'm doing my covers with it, everything is done with it. So I went online, find all these apps from Instagram to have a great post. And you know, there's so many pictures you can have for free, also online. So I took a few pictures, I make a montage, and then I put my title on it. As soon as I finish it, I need to show this to the guy, that's it. So today, it's even the first thing I'm doing every time I have a new project is to make the cover and have a title. For me, this is how I start a project. After that, I line up the index, this kind of subject I want to treat. And I always have more than the one I need just to make sure that I have enough to cover. Because if you have an idea of doing 21 chapters and you have 21 subjects, the last 5 are very hard because you didn't want to pick them. So usually I'm trying to have about the double subject that I need. And every morning I wake up, I have no idea what I'm doing, and just take a shower, look at one title, you put the title there, and you start writing.
So everybody watching this video right now that wants to become a dentist, maybe wants to become an author, what's your advice to them?
Just do it. Go with it. Learn from it. And you know that failure, we've been falsely trained to try to avoid failure. Failure is the proof that you've done something. It's the proof that you have the humility to look at what you did and say, maybe it's not the best thing possible. But now, as soon as you know what's not the best thing, you also know what's the good thing to do, the right thing to do. Look at me. I never had the ambition to write. I write out of fear. Today, I'll be having a word record, and I put it so high. At least officially my name stays there for a while. And to you and I, writing did balance my life a lot. Because I have so much going on in my head. I have so much going on with my emotions. As I was put that on paper or put that on my phone, it's clear out my ideas, my spirit, and also help me connect with new people. Mm-hmm. You become more open to meet with new people. You have more stuff to talk about. If you feel that there's something you want to do it. You feel it for a reason. For people who want to become dentists, the same thing. It's stop just going around saying maybe it's good, maybe it's not. What's in it for me? No,
just do it.
Do it. But as soon as remember who you're serving. As I am a dentist, I serve my patient. If you're loyal to that, you have a future. When I'm a daughter, the reason why I can write that much, that fast, and people love what I'm writing, I'm not writing for myself. I'm writing to share with people. So I'd always have that perspective as a doctor, say, okay, how can I help you? So we find a niche market or a question where people don't have a clue. Usually I don't have a clue myself, but it's okay. As soon as I sit down, so okay, so I can approach it in that angle or that angle, and you start evolving with it. You'd be surprised that most of my recent book, I started a book. I have no clue what I was writing. I have no clue where this will be leading. Mm-hmm. As I finished writing the books, I was learning when I was reading myself.
So for anybody that wants to follow your story, how can they follow you on social media?
On social media, you can look for Dr.Bak Nguyen on all social media. So I managed to have the same name everywhere. Those of you who want to have a deeper touch with me, it's yes. Usually I answer the message I'm receiving, but also on Amazon you have the first book that I print out, which is Changing the World from a Dental Chair. I wrote that book to defend my mission as Entrepreneur of the Year of EY. So everything that we talk about today, about the dentistry, how we change it, is in there, except for the professional secrets and also the company secrets. But they have a good idea of what was in my mind, why did I create it, and how can you inspire you from that same story and say, okay, look at it. Basically, you have a guy in front of you who is changing the world just with his thoughts. And yeah, his words, so I can talk a lot. But no, the kind of hope that brings.
Absolutely.
All of us can change the world. And I remember that came out, if you can allow me a few more minutes.
Absolutely.
The first time I went on stage, finally I went on stage with Thierry, but it wasn't with Michel Obama. Michel Obama never made it. It was at the Concordia University, and I was on stage. I need to introduce myself. So the first time I took the mic and say, oh, hi, I'm a dentist. And as soon as I said that, I just lost half my friends. So I started with that quote and not knowing really where I'm going, but they put me on a panel between Jamie de Benisri and Lenny Moreno. Those guys are hot. They kill. I was there, okay, I'm trying to make my most of it, and I was in the middle. So I remember that I finished my course about, if I have changed the world from a dental chair, you guys, because we're talking about entrepreneurs, are on a better spot than I am to change the world. The whole crowd start laughing. And I didn't realize what I just said, but I gave the mic to Lenny, and you can see him in his face like, whoa, why are we talking about change the world? So that stick with me since, and the branding is about changing the world. And I think that we all are in a position, if we can just improve on one aspect of life, people will love us for that, and we will have changed the world. It's not as hard as we think.
And that's what it's all about, collaborations together, because the way we think is, if, let's say, your story inspires even one person, we won.
Absolutely.
Dr. Bak, thank you so much for being on the show today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It was very fun meeting you, and I'm sure we're going to do some great things together.
Absolutely.
Looking forward for that. And for those who are watching us, follow the Nick and Jimmy Show.